It is important to highlight some of the most dangerous children in history. These were kids who showed little to no remorse for their actions and wreaked havoc wherever they went. One of the most well-known dangerous children is Mary Bell, who murdered 2 small boys at the tender age of 11. Another infamous child killer is Jesse Pomeroy, a 14-year-old who was convicted of murdering 2 young boys. Then there's Eric Smith, who at the age of 13 brutally beat and murdered a 4-year-old boy. Mary Flora Bell, a 10-year-old girl from England, is also among the list of dangerous children for having killed 2 boys and attempted to murder a 3rd. Finally, there is Joshua Phillips, who at 14, murdered his 8-year-old neighbor and hid her body beneath his bed for 6 days. These dangerous children prove that age is no barrier to committing heinous acts of violence. Number 1. Graham Young. Graham Young, also known as the teacup poisoner, was a dangerous child with a fascination for toxic substances and their effects on the human body. Born in 1947 in England, Young began experimenting with poisons at the tender age of 14, poisoning his stepmother with antimony and his father with thallium. He was eventually caught and sentenced to Broadmoor Hospital, where he continued to study and experiment with poisons until his death at age 42 in 1990. Young's case stands as a shocking reminder of the dangers of unsupervised experimentation with hazardous materials, especially among young people who may not fully understand the consequences of their actions. Number 2. Willie Bosquet Jr. Willie Bosquet Jr. was a troubled youth who made headlines in the 1970 seconds for his violent crimes and acts of delinquency. At just 15 years old, he killed 2 people and received a prison sentence of 5 years to life. This sentence sparked conversations around youth incarceration and the lack of opportunities for marginalized communities. Bosquet's story highlights the need for a comprehensive approach to addressing youth violence, one that prioritizes support and rehabilitation rather than punishment. Despite the tragic events of his life, Bosquet's legacy continues to shed light on the complex issues of crime and punishment in America. Number 3. Amarjit Sada. Amarjit Sada was a very strange child. A young Indian boy has become the world's youngest serial killer after he confessed to killing 3 babies at the age of 8. Sada's shocking behavior has baffled many experts, and his case has become one of the most infamous cases in criminal history. Although Sada was sent to a juvenile home, Sada's whereabouts and current condition are unknown. Amarjit Sada's story is a reminder of the dark potential that lies in the minds of young children and the importance of early intervention and treatment for at-risk youth. Number 4. Joshua Phillips. Joshua Phillips' dangerous child case shook the entire nation when he was charged with the first-degree murder of his 8-year-old neighbor Maddie Clifton in 1998. The shocking part of the case was that Phillips was only 14 years old at the time. His trial revealed that he had stabbed Maddie to death after hitting her with a baseball bat. Further investigations revealed that Phillips had been keeping Maddie's body underneath his waterbed for a week before disposing of it in a storm drain. The Joshua Phillips dangerous child case sparked a nationwide debate on the influence of violent media on young minds, as Phillips had reportedly been watching violent movies and playing video games with violent content. The case also led to changes in Florida law that made it possible for juveniles to be tried as adults for serious crimes. Number 5. John Venables and Robert Thompson. The killers have not been seen in public for more than 2 decades, but their case is one of the most shocking and controversial in British history. In 1993, when they were just 10 years old, John Venables and Robert Thompson kidnapped and brutally murdered 2-year-old James Bulger from a shopping center in Liverpool. The case shocked the nation and sparked a debate about the nature of childhood and whether young offenders should be held accountable for their actions. Despite their age, Venables and Thompson were tried and convicted as adults and were eventually released from prison in 2001 under new identities. Violence in children and the need for prevention and intervention.